Hi, I'm Jake Carter, production lead for We and Goliath. Thank you for stopping by our technical best practices for virtual presenters. We want to help you look and sound your best on your next virtual event. And that means going over a number of tips and tricks that include looking at your network, your audio and video settings, your lighting, making sure that your computer is set up for success, and coming back around and touching back on your network once again. Your network, as can be implied, is the most important thing in a virtual presentation. Without it, we can't get you out onto the web to present your material. We strongly encourage that everyone presenting connect via an Ethernet cable between your computer and your router. This encourages the best signal possible and takes out the unpredictability factor of Wi-Fi. If you do have to use Wi-Fi, and we understand that that happens every now and again, we encourage you to be within line of sight of your router. This means you don't have to try to penetrate through walls, or worse yet, floors that can contain electrical wires or plumbing fixtures that could interrupt the electrical signal of the Wi-Fi. We also suggest that you ask other people to not be transferring large files while you're online or streaming video. When it comes to your audio, we suggest that you use an external dynamic microphone. The one here is the one that we suggest most often, which is a Samson Q2U that can be connected to your computer directly over a USB cable. If you want to use headphones, that's fine too, whether they be wire or wireless. We do suggest that you make sure that if they are wireless, either Bluetooth or NFC, that you make sure that they're fully charged, because we don't need a battery dying on you mid-presentation. And should you be using wired headphones, try to avoid using the type that has the microphone in the cable, because that can brush across clothing and create distracting noises for both you and the audience. When it comes to getting the best out of your webcam, this photo here has a number of good examples that we would like to show off. For starters, you can see that the webcam is placed about arm's length away from the presenter. This is going to change a little bit in either direction, depending on the webcam involved, but it's a good rule of thumb to start with. This should place you in about the right position in regards to the whole frame. Also, keeping the camera at eye level, whether the camera be embedded in your laptop or sit on top of your camera's monitor, can be truly important. You can always raise up your laptop by setting it on a stack of books, as is shown here, or who doesn't have an Amazon box kicking around? Setting it up on top of a box may help too. With lighting, having the window light or any light at all in front of you rather than behind you is extremely important. We want to be able to see you, not a shadow, in a brightly lit room. And sometimes it doesn't hurt to have a pet on hand ready to photobomb your presentation. Your lighting and your webcam work together to make you look the best possible. Setting up your lighting for success is truly important. Make sure that the bright lights are in front of you, not behind you, creating hot spots or turning you into a shadow. If you only have one light, our suggestion is to bounce it off a wall in front of you to create a flatter, more smooth look that's softer to the camera. Incandescent or warmer LED lighting that glows a little bit more amber can be much more flattering on just about everyone's face than fluorescent lighting that can oftentimes glow blue or even green, giving your skin the wrong color cast. Ideally, you would be able to set up equal lighting at about 45 degrees to either side in front of you, and turn those up about half to 3/4 of the way. This will create a more even lighting across your face and make you look more balanced. And if you happen to wear glasses, It cuts down on the reflections of the light, and it cuts down on shadows cast on walls close behind you. You can see in these photographs here how a difference in where your webcam is placed makes a lot of difference in how you come across on camera. If you're too far away, you'll blend into the background and run the risk of becoming blurry. If you're too close, it can appear a little creepy. If you're right in the center, that works out great. It gives you just enough headroom to not make you feel or look cramped in any way, and it leaves enough room below you for lower thirds and other text and images that need to be overlaid on top of your image. Getting your computer set up for the big day is just as important as making sure that you look and sound your best. Make sure to close out any and all programs that you don't need during the event. Oftentimes, this can include programs that are in the background that you don't normally think about on a day-to-day basis, such as synchronization programs or even antivirus programs. Do make sure to turn them all back on after the event, though. Browser tabs can be just as bad as other programs. Close out all the ones you don't need. If you don't need the browser open at all during your presentation, go ahead and just close out the browser. It will help save on resources throughout your computer, throughout the event. Make sure that your laptop is plugged in during the course of the event. Last thing you need is a battery running dead on. And, probably most important for your audience, make sure that you mute all visual and audio notifications so that neither you nor the audience are distracted. And because we can't leave well enough alone, we're going to touch back on your network one more time. Please, when possible, make sure that you are plugged into your network over a cable and don't leave it to chance with Wi-Fi. By plugging in, you can often double, sometimes even triple your network speeds, and that's going to help everyone. Wi-Fi isn't predictable, whereas a hardline really is and gives your computer a very dedicated pathway to get out onto the internet. Sometimes Wi-Fi will also prioritize video over the audio signal, knocking you out of sync, creating an even bigger distraction for your audience. The day before the event, make sure that your environment is set up correctly to make you and the audience both feel comfortable. That can mean a non-distracting background behind you, as well as behind the camera, keeping your focus on the materials at hand and making sure that you don't stray from your topic either. Make sure that your computer is set up by following the guidelines that we've pointed out here, making sure that things are plugged in, making sure that you can get to the appropriate links quickly and easily that you need. And make sure to get your presentation set up with last looks. Make sure that it fills the correct screen, that you're looking at it with the right view. All of these things are going to be a huge help to you the following day when your event goes live. Should you need to, feel free to download our Go Live checklist at eventsupport.weandgoliath.com/Go Live checklist. You can also prevent some of the more common mistakes by optimizing your setup like we've talked about today. Make sure to attend your backstage prep session. This is a chance for your engineer and your producer to go over all the remaining little tips and tricks that you may have missed or that we may have come up with in the meantime or are specific to your show. Make sure that you keep your microphone and your camera on at all times and unmuted so that we can take control over it and not have you worry about that aspect. If you need notes, that's fine. Everybody does. But try to keep from reading a script. Try to keep your notes in bullet point format and keep them as close to your camera as possible so that it doesn't look like you're reading. This helps keep eye contact with the audience and makes everyone feel closer together. Should you have any additional questions, last-minute worries, feel free to email us. We are always available to help and support. Feel free to reach out to us at support@weandgoliath.com, and we look forward to having you on your next event.